Shalom, this week's Sedra Vayeshev. How do we differentiate between fantasy and reality? In the world of fake news, deep fakes, artificial intelligence, how can we be sure that the images, videos, or news reports that we are being exposed to are real and not just some concocted by frauds, pranksters, or nefarious groups intent on deceiving the public for their own benefit or worse? The world as we know it is going to experience drastic changes, and to ensure we handle it properly, we're going to need to set parameters that direct us to determine what we accept and don't accept as real. In this week's Torah portion, we are introduced to Yosef having dreams. These dreams would eventually lead to Yaakov having to decide whether what he was seeing was real or some sort of fantasy he had only hoped for after years of thinking of his beloved son Yosef was dead and being faced with signs of life of Yosef. Were they real or not? As we read this week, when Yosef explained the dreams to his fathers and brothers, his father berated him. "What," he said to him, "is this dream you have dreamed? Are we to come, I, your mother, and your brothers, and bow low to you to the ground?" From the pasuk, it seems that Yaakov, along with his other sons, rejected Yosef's dreams. Yet we still read, Yosef's brothers were furious at him, but his father kept the matter in mind. In his commentary to the phrase, his father kept the matter in mind, Rashi wrote, he awaited and looked forward to the time when the dreams would come true. The Cheskuni wrote, in spite of his father's obvious displeasure, Yaakov carefully retained this dream in his memory, awaiting future developments, if any. He displayed anger only in order to minimize the jealousy of Yosef by his brothers. To what end would Yaakov need to remember Yosef's dreams? They turned out to be important. In his commentary, the Rashbam wrote, when the brothers returned from Egypt and reported about Yosef's position there, and Yaakov did not believe them Yosef was still alive, he saw the carriages which Paro had sent to transport him, and realized that such an honor could only be bestowed by a king, and that seeing that the king of Egypt had no reason to honor him in such a manner, the carriages, though sent with the approval of Paro, must have been sent by someone in an almost equally high position, meaning his son Yosef, who had dreamed of attaining such stature. It was the recollection of the dream Yosef had told him about, which then prompted Yaakov to exclaim, "It's too much. Not only is my son Yosef alive, but he is ruler of the whole land of Egypt." Yaakov kept the dreams in mind and was able to use them to set a baseline to compare the most unbelievable phenomena he was seeing with his own eyes to know that what he was seeing was true. In order to determine which phenomena are true and which are false, we're going to need to set parameters that direct us to determine what we accept and don't accept as real. Using our intelligence and analytical skills, we can determine, for the most part, if the facts are consistent with the images, videos, or news reports we're being exposed to. Then we can accept that they are true, and if they are inconsistent, we can reject them as false. This process is how Yaakov was able to understand that although he felt Yosef was dead, the chariots and grandeur he saw could only be explained by accepting that Yosef was still alive. What an amazing message back then and for us going forward. Shabbat Shalom.